Stuck in a downward spiral for what seems like an eternity, troubled Android phone maker HTC has been actively diversifying its portfolio this year. Sure, there was the mandatory One M9 flagship, as well as a bunch of Desire mid-rangers, but we've also seen some more or less unexpected entrants, such as the HTC One M9 Plus. An M9 in a supersized form, you might think. Not exactly. The M9 Plus is slightly bigger than the M9, but not really big enough to call it a phablet. At the same time, it bumps some of the specs up, like the resolution, but also turns things down in other areas, such as the chipset. It's really difficult to determine the exact position of the One M9 Plus relative to the M9, which is why we won't even try. Let's just review it for what it is. If there's one Android UI that has managed to retain a sense of purpose and focus through the years, other than stock Android, it has to be HTC's Sense. Not one to try wowing you with cheap tricks or needless piles of customization options, HTC is instead focusing on the core experience of its phones. The Sense interface across the One M9 Plus's Android 5 software is composed in a stylish, coherent manner. Aside from a few absurd apps that come pre-installed on the phone, everything else has been designed around a unified concept, one that is markedly mature and down to the point. For the most part, we like the overarching design theme of the phone: messaging, calendar, etc. apps, though we have to say screen space usage is inefficient, to say the least. The large, colorful, material design-inspired header bars in most applications, along with the on-screen navigation keys, leave little space for the actual content. In comparison, the iPhone 6s and Galaxy S6 typically display more content in their respective applications. Looking beyond the surface layer of Sense, we start noticing a number of issues and imperfections that leave something to be desired from the experience. Things like the auto brightness setting, or the rough vibration felt when typing on the keyboard, or even the weird default sounds that HTC has chosen for events like new mail, or notification. Some of these are easily fixable with some tinkering, but some aren't, like that fact that you just can't use the camera flash when the phone is low on battery, or that the One M9 Plus doesn't automatically disable its power-saving mode once it has reached a certain level of charge. Another issue we encountered had to do with the fingerprint settings. While the setup of the fingerprint scanner is mostly quick and easy, disabling it isn't. It took at least a good 5 minutes to figure out that we can't just disable lock screen authentication, or only fingerprint authentication, for that matter, without actually removing the fingerprints we've stored on the phone, which appears to be a very poor software engineering solution. Other than that, yes, the scanner works quickly and accurately enough. Though, we can't seem to understand why it keeps vibrating upon being touched, even when we've disabled every function of it completely. Vibrating should signify that something is going on, and in this case, when we have the scanner turned off, it's just strange for it to continue vibrating when tapped. Well, we guess in some aspects, HTC Sense just doesn't make that much sense. Still, not all is bad. The internet browser of choice with the HTC One M9 Plus is Google Chrome, which is a wise choice. This way, HTC can avoid compromising the super important browsing experience with any custom in-house solutions. The MediaTek Helio X10 chipset does a decent job here, ensuring that things will work well inside the browser.